Okay, so the perfect match continues to be gold to watch. Okay, guys, I just watched episodes 7 and 8, and I have thoughts, and I cannot wait to tell you all about it, because if you watched my last video, the way episode 6 ended, I really thought stuff was gonna happen, but they, really, tricked me. I will say. They tricked me, and I can't wait to talk about these two episodes, 7 and 8, because, my God, the drama ensued. We've got more Francesca continuing to be evil. We have some strong couples that are continuing to stay loyal to each other, and I'm here for it. We have some people that are being brought into the house, and I'm like, really, what is the point? And of course, we continue to have more amazing drama that is reality TV, as I love to say, gold. So let's get into episode 7 and 8 recap. Okay, so episode 7 starts off, and they got me, guys. They got me, and I'm sure everyone who watched my previous video was like, oh, girl, it's okay. Yeah, so episode 7 turns out they were just kidding. Francesca didn't leave Damien by himself. That it was just a joke. Ha, ha, ha. They got me. I'm not gonna lie. They got me good. So, anyway, they decide that Chloe and Inez are going to be going on a date. And I was a little bit surprised, because I really thought that Francesca was going to go in there and send Georgia on a date. I thought that was the whole plan, but she didn't. I don't know if that was a producer call. I don't know if she was just like, I'll get them another time. I don't really know. I was a little bit shocked, not going to lie. But basically, Chloe and Inez leave on their dates, and Chloe leaves, and Shane is a mess, of course, and everybody's going over to him like, Shane, are you okay? Are you okay, Shane? Are you okay? And he's just like, oh, I'm fine. I'm all right, guys. I'm fine. And I'm like, we all know that you are spiraling, because this is Shane. Shane spirals quick, and I mean quick. Every single time I see him in a relationship, he's just a big, I'm gonna call him a spiraler. He is a big spiraler. So yeah, don't lie to us and tell us that you're okay, because I know that you are not. But and I know, I have a feeling this was producer, actually, now that I'm saying this out loud, I have a feeling this was all producer driven as to why they put Chloe on that board, was because they wanted Chloe and Mitchell to see each other. So for those of you who don't know, Chloe and Mitchell have a past. They both used to be on The Circle, and they actually found romance from that show, which is interesting, because The Circle isn't necessarily a romantic show, but they technically fell in love without seeing each other, I guess, technically. But that's besides the point. So it turns out they had just broken up 6 months prior to this show. And I guess he supposedly, Chloe said that they broke up because he was still a virgin, and he was becoming insecure because she had a lot of previous sexual experience and he didn't. He got insecure about that. And I'm like, okay. I mean, if that's what we're saying. But anyway, they're on this date, and it's just a little bit kind of awkward at first, but you can tell that there is a history there, and a very loving history. You could tell these people really have feelings for each other. And then they're just kind of flirting, and it's just not good. At the end of this date, they do end up kissing, and it's just, oh my God, a disaster, because at the end of the day, it's kind of you see your ex, and it might have just kind of ended on a weird turn where there wasn't anything really solidified. Who knows what was really going on, if they were still maybe talking to each other. There's so many things, but yeah, they kissed, and I felt real in that moment. I was like, fudge, Shane is screwed. But then we move on to Will and Inez's date. Will is from the mole. I guess maybe they brought him in just to really, put up the tension between him and Dom, because supposedly on the mole they did not get along. But he goes on this date with Inez, and I guess there's some chemistry there. I kind of feel they're kind of weird in their own way. I don't know. Like I say, at this point in the game, this is episode 7, and people are just coming in now. The chances of really me really getting to know this person is very, very slim. But we'll get into more of Will later, because he to me is a little bit he's definitely not here for the right reasons type of person. But anyway, we get back to the house, the dates come back, everyone's like, oh my God, you're here, oh my God, blah blah blah. There is lots of rumblings in the house. Everyone's talking to each other. They're like, oh man, Mitchell's here. Shane's like, fuck, I'm screwed. And remember, okay, so this is the night where 2 guys will be going two guys will be going home. And basically we move to the night portion. Chloe is spiraling. Not as bad as like Shane does, but she's spiraling in a way as to she doesn't know what to do. Does she go with Shane, who she was really starting to like and felt a connection there? Or does she go with Mitchell, who she already has a history with and wants to see if there is still something there worth pursuing? I'm not gonna lie, that's a difficult position to be in. That is a very difficult position to be in. But maybe the reason, watching the episode and thinking about it afterwards, maybe the choice is not to go with the person you broke up with because you broke up for a reason. But anyway, there's just like a whole bunch of going around. Everyone's like surrounding Chloe, like, oh my God, what are you gonna do? Like, talk to me. And she's like, yeah, we kissed. And everyone's like, what? Everyone's just like freaking out. And she's like, I don't know, like, should I talk to Mitchell first? Should I talk to Shane first? Like, what do I do? And everybody's like, no, talk to Mitchell first and then talk to Shane. And I was like, oh God, because then what happens? Production is like, you know what? Let's get to Shane with news before her, because people were like, oh, don't tell Shane that you kissed Mitchell. Like, don't tell him. And then you have Mitchell go and talk to Shane and basically like, hey, I just want to talk. And I'm like, fudge. And then he starts the conversation with, I want to be honest with you. I was like, oh no, he's gonna tell Shane that they kissed. And that's what ends up happening. He ends up telling him that they kissed, and Shane is just typical Shane, reacts in the moment, doesn't think about it, doesn't sit with his feelings. He's kind of just like, oh, okay, fine, well, I'm done. And just like literally walks up. And he's like, oh, it's fine, like whatever, I'm done. And walks away, like a typical Shane reaction. And the amount of times he does this in this episode, or in the last episodes that we've seen him like moving from girl to girl to girl, is that he's a very like reactionary person. It's just like whatever happens in that moment, he reacts to it, and it's never good. He never like kind of sits and like lets the person talk to him and try to talk it out. And it's always just like, I'm done, I'm giving up, this sucks, you ruined me, blah blah blah. There's never like time for a real a real talk. And I think that's something that he really needs to work on, in my opinion. I think that's something that he really needs to work on. But yeah, he basically, like I said, he walks away, and Damien comes over and tries to calm him down and like, dude, like, just sit down, think about it. Like, imagine if this were the other way around. Like, if Natalie walked in, like, you can't tell me that you wouldn't act the same way, etc., etc. And Shane is just with this wide-eyed self. I swear that guy always looks like he's on drugs. But that's just me. Sorry. Yeah. So, tries to calm him down. Doesn't really work, but whatever. We'll get there. So Chloe takes Mitchell to the side and they talk, and that's when they realize that, maybe there are still feelings here and maybe we should try to pursue something. And I'm not gonna lie, Chloe was kind of trying to be like, hey, like, is this something you want to pursue for real, or are you here to meet people? And this is foreshadowing for what happens in episodes 8. He doesn't really answer the question. He's just like, well, I wanna see if there's something here with us. I wanna connect with you. But then to the side cameras, he's like, oh, I'm here to like talk to all the ladies and get to know people. And he tells Chloe like he's not really sure if he's like ready for or that if he's here for a relationship or something like that. And then she's just like, dude, like, or I think he says like, I'm not here to like meet someone or something like that. And she's like, you're on the perfect match. This isn't too hot to handle. Like, this is the perfect match. You're here to find someone to be with. And he's just like, yeah, you're right, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, well, I want to get to know you. And then they end up being like there. But we'll talk about that later. We're going to get into that. We will. We will. But Chloe goes and talks to Shane. And Shane obviously is still just pissed because he knows that she's going to pick Mitchell. And pretty much just kind of like doesn't let her talk and just kind of like pretty much makes her really feel like shit because she is going to pick somebody else that she already has feelings with. And like, I get it. I get both sides. I understand the dilemma that Chloe is in, but I also understand why Shane would be mad. Now, does he go by it the wrong way? Yeah, because he pretty much shuts her down and makes her feel like shit, when really it's just like, I feel like there should just be more of like a sit down, like, this really sucks. And, I just wish that, like, you would have given me a chance. But if that's what you want to do, then that's fine. No hard feelings. And you move away. Like, you've known this girl for like 2 days. I can understand if it's been like months you've been talking and then somebody comes in and ruins it. Okay. But it's been 2 days. You can't tell me that you can't have the maturity to just be like, you know what? It's been 2 days. I really like this girl, but clearly she doesn't feel the same way. Yeah, it hurts. Really hurts me. But if that's what you want to do, then that's okay. And I wish you the best. You hug the person and you move on. Because then now what happens? What happens next? Actually, Chloe ends up crying. It's a really sad moment. And I felt for her. She starts to cry. Everyone's like coming over to talk to her. And she's just like, I just hope I'm making the right decision. Like, I'm going to be so mad because I'm so bad at making decisions. I'm going to be so mad if I've made the wrong one. Oh. Like I said, we'll get there. But I felt for her. And I love Chloe. I want her to find love so bad. She should be on Love is Blind. Let's put her on Love is Blind. I want her to find love. So we move on to now Bartise and Inez are talking. Because Inez, remember, had gone on this date with Will. And she kind of felt maybe a little something there, right? And Bartise. I really can't stand this guy. So Inez brings Bartise over and pretty much starts to tell him, like, hey, I don't think there's something here, pretty much. And then in line, that's what she's saying. I don't think there's something here for us, right? And this guy has the nerve to be like, well, I picked you up. I asked you to be my match. I picked you up when you were in the corner over there crying, like, I'm going home. And I was like, Oh, hell no.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
And I'm glad. I like Inez. Does she jump from guy to guy a lot? Yes. But I think she's truly trying to find her match. And also, I like that she says what is real and what is on her mind. And she will put you into place. She's not just like, whatever. She's like, oh, no. Don't say that you picked me up. I didn't ask you to save me, to keep me in the house. I wasn't over there crying because I'm like, oh, I'm going home. I was crying because, yes, I was sad to be going home, but I understand that I don't have my match here. So don't try to use that as basically leverage to keep me. Because that's basically what he was doing. He was basically trying to make her feel bad by being like, I picked you up when you were down. I was like, get out of here. Get this man out of here. Get him out of here, please. Get him out. And he just continues to say that he does feel something. And then, again with the freaking emotional connection crap. He was like, kept saying like, oh, well, I might have been physically attracted to her, but there was an emotional connection. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Get the beep out of here, Bartise. Just leave. And in the end, they did leave. Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye, Shane. Goodbye, Bartise. It was nice to see you guys. I mean, I felt bad for Shane. Not necessarily wanted Shane to go, but Bartise I was fine with. And honestly, what cracked me up, it was a bit funny. So right before they leave, Mitchell and Chloe go up to their little bed, to their room or whatever, and they have like an infinity pool, and they jump in, and the water falls over onto Bartise and Shane, and they're like, what the fuck, man? That was fucking rude. That was so up. Get me the fuck out of here. They were so mad, and I was just laughing inside. I was like, Oh. Shane was so pissed. He was so over it. He was ready to go home. But it was funny. But anyway, we move on to the next day. We've got a challenge. And so the couples basically have these little boards of chalk, and they have to say whatever. And then Nick Lachey will say will tell them a sentence, and they have to say, is it cute or is it cringe? And if they agree, they go to the next round. If they disagree, or if they have different if their answers don't match, they move down the line, and they have 3 chances. If they lose, if they get to their third one, they basically have to drop into this like pool of like bubbles and soap and stuff. It's really funny. But in the end, Will and Inez win. Interesting couple. They're very different people. The fact that they won this, I don't really know. Maybe they just got to know each other more in the night to be like, hey, we might have a challenge like to get to know each other more. I don't know. But they go on their date, and this is when you start to see how different they are, like how they're not really compatible at all, really. And which is funny because that's what the challenge said, was that they were compatible. I don't know if these games actually make sense, but they're fun. It is what it is. But basically we find out that Will is just here for competition. And I'm like, this is an interesting show because I don't consider this show a competition. Like, you're here to find love. Like, yeah, there might be a competition, but you're not going into it just being like, I have to win, because it's just like, but the point is for you to win in love. The point of view is to find someone for yourself, a perfect match. It's not for you to be like, I'm going to win money. I'm going to win something. It's not like that kind of game. It's not Fear Factor. This is not what this is. This is the perfect match where you're supposed to find your perfect match. So the fact that he's going into the show being very much like, oh, well, I'm here to win. I'm like, win what? You don't even win money. Like, what? Whatever. So Inez does figure this out, and she's just like, I did not like that. And I'm like, I don't like it either, so I get it. We have more Joey and Carousel talking. He's talking about how he wants to move in with her, basically getting more vulnerable with her, and Carousel's loving all life. Then we have a turn of events here. We have Fran talking to Carousel, the two little gossip queens that I cannot stand, as I spoke in the last episode. She basically tells Carousel that she is getting the ick from Damien. This beep. Oh my god, I cannot. She's like, I'm getting the ick. I think I'm getting the ick from Damien. He does this weird thing where he kisses me slowly up my arm, and then every single time he kisses me, his eyes are open, and I'm like, girl, these are not deal breakers, but you're making it a deal breaker because you're really not that much, you're not really interested in him. And if it were, you would be like, ew, I hate when you do that. There's something. Those are things that can just be looked over. I mean, yeah, the kissing with the eyes open is always kind of weird to me. It's kind of funny, but I don't think that's necessarily a deal breaker for you to be like, ew, I don't like you forever, And then she goes on to this thing of I don't know if he just wants to have sex with me. Is that all he wants? I'm not sure what the vibe is here. And to be honest, Damien this whole couple episodes has been super bland and boring, and I really don't care for him. You can just clearly tell that he's just obsessed with Francesca, and maybe he does just want to sleep with her. I don't know. I actually don't know. Are they allowed to sleep together on this show? I don't know. I mean, Lana's not there, but I just wonder I guess they can. No one's stopping them from, but they haven't had it. But anyway, we move on, and this is where things get a little bit not confusing. This is where things get interesting. So we have Dom consoling Inez about her not feeling it with Will. And for a while, I wasn't sure. I was like, oh, they have a really nice friendship. Oh, they're really close. And, I thought there was going to be a point where maybe Inez might have been into him, but, it never went there. So I was like, oh, they're clearly just friends. And that's totally fine. You can have a male and a female be just friends. I have a best friend that's like that. It's not really a big deal. But then we find out that Inez does confess that maybe she should have given Dom a chance. And that she, kind of, she should have pursued him. She kind of messed that up. But she knows that Dom is really into Georgia, and she doesn't want to mess up that happy relationship. And I'm like, you know what? Good person. I like her. If this were somebody else, they would go and F that up. But she was like, no, I love him as a person, and I want him to be happy. So she's just like, okay, I'm not going to do anything. Yeah, so then we move to Inez and Will in the boardroom, and things get shaked up. Basically, at first, they put Dom in the little circle thing to figure out, and she's like, well, I don't want to put Dom in. He's really happy with Georgia. But Will's like, no, I want to put Dom there. Why? I don't know. What is he after him? I really have no idea what was the reasoning. So he puts Dom and Diamond on a date. Diamond was from Love is Blind, season 1. Again, a waste for Diamond, because I'm pretty sure Dom at this point would be like, no, I'm into Georgia, whatever. And then they really shake things up by putting Francesca on a date with a woman. They put her on a date with this girl named Abby from the show called 20 Somethings. Never heard of it. But this is the first couple we're seeing on this show that's going on a date that is the same sex. So shit will be, oh yeah, and it gets spicy, guys. So let's just continue going on into episode 8. Basically it is daytime. Everyone is shocked when Will and Inez come down and they're like, Dom, you're going on a date. And Dom's like, what? Like, why? Like, why am I going on a date? Like, this is so stupid. Why am I going on a date? And Francesca and everyone, even Fran, is shocked. Her mouth is dropped. Everybody's like, what? Oh my God. Whatever. So they leave, and Dom is just, again, completely confused. He doesn't understand, like, why they're bringing him on a date. Like, they're doing that. Like, Will is just doing this to, like, mess with him, even though they have buried the hatchet. And he goes and does this thing to me. Francesca and Abby, they go on a date, and they hit it off. There's definitely something there. Like, they're really into each other. Even I felt it. I was like, oh yeah, I could tell that they're feeling each other. Like, there's something there. Clearly Abby knew who Francesca was. She was like, you're my favorite. I do have to handle season 1. All this stuff. She's clearly, again, obsessed with her, which is what Francesca wants in somebody. She wants somebody that's going to be obsessed with her. And Abby is obsessed with her. But then we go to Diamond and Dom, and they have a nice conversation. But again, Dom was just like, I'm going to be loyal to Georgia. And he was. He was completely loyal to her. He even told Diamond, heads up, he's like, hey, I don't know why I'm on this date. I shouldn't be on this date. It's not fair for you. I'm with someone. I'm matched with someone right now, and that's the person I want to be with. And Diamond's like, thank you for telling me. I respect that. Whatever. She goes into the house, and she's just like, clearly someone is out to get Dom. So you should watch out. And I'm like, yeah, I really don't know why. And then, like, actually, that's where, like, little things start to kind of get miscommunicated. And us as an audience, like, we see that Inez didn't want to take Dom on the date, but then Inez picks Dom to go on the date. But then, of course, that's when Georgia starts thinking, like, oh, did Inez put him on the date because she wants to, like, break us up so she can have a shoe-in? You know, she starts to put 2 and 2 together, like, oh, maybe is there something with them? I thought they were just friends. You know, it starts to really mess with Georgia's head. And that becomes a common thread through, like, the end of, like, most of this episode. But we have a scene with Carousel talking to Joey about her sexuality. I didn't know she was bisexual, but she is. And she basically is just like, you know, is it okay if would your family be okay with you marrying or being with someone who's bisexual? And he's just like, oh, absolutely. Like, they don't give a F. All this stuff. And she's like, you know, because my family didn't do very well with the news, all this stuff. This episode was very heavy on the throwing out the bisexuality, like, themes, for sure. He seems to be like, I love you for who you are, I don't really care, etc., etc. Okay, and then we move into Carousel being a little bit evil and trying to be a puppet, and being a puppet for everything that's going on, and just, like, getting herself in, not, like, I understand, like, I'm at a crossroads with Carousel. She's absolutely crazy. And I can kind of see why she did what she did, but at the same time, like, girl, focus on your relationship. Let everyone else focus on them. Like, don't ruin the relationship of someone else. Because at the end of the day, we know that Carousel is best friends with Francesca. She's like, that's my girl. Like, I gotta support her. And she knows that Dom and Georgia really annoy Francesca. So what is she gonna do? As her best friend, she's going to go and tell Inez, like, oh, you should talk to Dom. And that's exactly what she does. She goes and tells Dom, and she's like, no, you should go after Dom. Like, you're going to regret it if you don't tell him how you feel. And she's basically, like, egging her on, like, telling Inez, like, no. And she's like, yeah, but she's with Georgia. She's like, yeah, but it doesn't matter. Like, we're all here to find your perfect match. And if you think he's your perfect match, like, you should go and tell him how you feel. Like, all of this stuff basically ends up blowing up in her face, that and ends up blowing up in Inez's face. It was like a movie where she was like, Dom was here for you the whole time and you didn't see it, and now you see that he's the guy for you. You have to fight for him. You have to go. Let's learn what it felt like. It felt like a movie where it was like the best friend, the 2 best friends, and then there's the one that realizes, like, oh my God, I'm in love with her. And then you have another outside friend who's like, oh, well, you have to tell him how you feel. Literally. That is literally what happened. But it doesn't go well because she goes and tells Dom. Inez goes and tells Dom. And Dom is completely blindsided. He's literally like, what? Like, what is going on? Like, why didn't you tell me this sooner? Like, this is, like, the wrong timing. Like, he's just upset. And Inez is, like, obviously all just taken aback by everything that's going on. It's just, like, a lot of emotions. And clearly Dom is just, like, I don't think Dom feels that way about her. At least right now. I don't know if things will change in the next couple of episodes, but like as of right now, it doesn't look like it. But then you also have him go talk to Georgia, and Georgia, this is when she starts to spiral. She's taken aback that Inez has done this, and she's not necessarily like mad at Dom, but she's just starting to second guess everything. She walks away, and then we move on to Damien and Fran, who are talking, and she basically seems so uninterested in this man. He's literally talking to her and telling him how he feels about her, and then she just literally calls over Carousel and cuts him off. Like, he's literally like, yeah, like, I'm really enjoying Carousel, come over here. She's like, oh, I really need to talk to Carousel. Like, I haven't talked to her all day. And, like, just completely, like, ignores him. And then, like, Carousel's there, like, talking to him. And then this girl has the nerve to be like, oh, why don't you go and talk to Dom? He seems like he's a little bit lonely over there. And Damien realizes, and Damien's like, if you want me to go, like, just tell me to go. Like, you don't have to, like, pretend that I have to go and talk to someone. Like, just ask me to leave and I will. And truthfully, that is true. Like, if you want to talk to your girlfriend, just be like, hey babe, love you, you're great, but I just want to talk to my girlfriend right now. That's all you have to say. But don't, it was the worst. I absolutely hate her. So at this point, everyone in the house is stressed. Everyone's feeling like people are messing with them. Damien walks over to the whole group and is like, I'm done with Francesca. Like, all of this stupidity reality TV that we love to see and watch and eat up. Georgia is just completely, like, just taken aback, and then Inez comes in, and I fell for Inez in this moment. Georgia's just like, you know, I thought we were friends, like, why would you do this to me, all this stuff, and Inez is like, oh my god, like, I'm so sorry, like, that's not what I wanted to do. I've never, ever wanted to hurt you, Georgia, like, that wasn't the case. Like, you could tell that Inez is, like, a good person. She's genuinely a good person, and she just feels horrible, as she should, and I know, it just sucked. So Georgia goes and talks to Dom after she's, like, calmed down, and basically he's like, you know, I'm only loyal to you. Like, I really like you. This is the best I've felt, and I really do like you. And he asks her to be his girlfriend, and I'm like, wow, things move fast in this house. Things move fast. He was just like, hey, do you want to be my girlfriend? He's all nervous, and it's really cute, and they match up, and she's like, yeah, like, I'll be your girlfriend, and it's so cute. I am rooting for them. I love Georgia. I think I really liked her on this season of Too Hot to Handle as well. Like, she's good people's. I want her to find love. Then, this was a turn of events. Damien goes and talks to Inez and basically matches with her and is just like, hey, like, I'm open to seeing what there is there. They even kiss. Why? I don't know. That was clearly a way for them to both stay in the house. Just bleh. Did not like it. Did not like it at all. By the way, yeah, also it's a side note, Diamond and Will end up matching. Very weird, but whatever, here we are. So at this point, no one goes home. Everyone has a match, which is nice. That's, I think at one point, I think Nick Lachey come in and he's like, oh, we actually have 6 beds available tonight. Anyone who doesn't have a partner will be going home. But everyone matches up, so everyone stays. Then we have the next day, which is a challenge, directing your partner through like a little like these little hay stumps that are on the ground, and your partner is blinded, and from far away you have to direct them to like pick up these blocks and then bring them to you, and the couple who first brings it, who gets all the blocks, wins the challenge, is the most compatible. And Chloe and Mitchell end up winning that one, which is what they wanted. Very cute. Yeah, I was so happy for them. They get a date and they get to go to the board. Super, super duper cute. And then this is when the other shoe drops, and it drops hard on poor Chloe. They're on this date, and guys, I was watching, I was like, oh, it's great. They're connecting, they're talking about how many kids they want to have, about their future. Not necessarily as a couple, but just like what they would want to do. And, you know, Chloe's very much like, you know, I don't want to put a timestamp of having kids and getting married and all this stuff. Like, when it happens, it'll happen. Like, she's just very open. And he's talking to her about how open he is. And then Chloe is just being really open with him. And she's like, you know, like, what is it that you want? You know, like, I just want to put all the things out there. Like, you know, the reasons why we broke up. And then he's just like, you know, I'm not very good at committing because, you know, I want to live my life. Like, I'm still young, all this stuff. And then he basically just tells her, literally says, I'm not looking for a relationship. And Chloe is livid.
Son of a bitch.
And it's all in her face. Like, it's not like she goes and yells at him. It's just quiet because it's like the end of the episode. And you can see on her face, like, her mind is just like, oh my God, I made the wrong decision. Oh my God, I should have picked Shane. Oh my God, what did I do? Oh my God, I messed everything up. Oh my God. Literally is livid. And she's like, I can't believe I did this. I should have picked Shane. All this. It's bad. It's very, very bad. The shoe has dropped and she's basically pissed. And I would be too. You know, if you didn't, first of all, why are you on this show, Mitchell, if you don't want to be in a relationship? The whole point of this is to find love, to find your perfect match, to find your person. That's like someone going on Love is Blind and being like, I'm not here to find love. I'm like, I was so pissed because I genuinely like them as a couple. I think they look really good as a couple. They're cute as a couple. You can tell why they like each other. They're compatible. I think they are a good couple. Like, I really liked them. And then he goes and does this stuff to her. Like, it's just like, dude, if you didn't want to be in a relationship, then why did you tell her to pick you? Like, it's so rude. It's so wrong of people. Like, you know who she is. You know she wants a relationship. Why the hell are you going to string her along and then, like, make her match with you so you can stay on the show longer, and then you're gonna go and find like, oh God. Oh. I was really upset. I was like, oh God. I mean, he did give some red flags throughout the show because he did at some point be like, I think he was talking to Abby on the side and he was just like, I'll talk to Abby. You know, I don't have something with Chloe right now, but, you know, I'm here to meet all the girls. I'm like, no, you're not. You're here to be with Chloe. Messed up. By the way, I forgot to mention that Francesca and Abby the day before had matched together, so that's why Damien ended up matching with Inez. I forgot to mention that. But anyway, yeah, so that's how episode 8 ends. And then they kind of give us a little cliffhanger where it looks like they might bring back Shane into the house, or at least Chloe will bring Shane back into the house for herself at the boardroom. So next week, February 28th, the last day of February, I am super duper excited to watch the last 4 episodes. 9, 10, 11. Yeah, because there's 12 episodes in total. I cannot wait to watch them. They're going to be so great. And don't worry, I will be recapping that for you. And guys, it was just announced yesterday. They released the little teaser or the announcement for Love is Blind Season 4. I cannot wait, guys. Ooh, it's coming I think, mid-March. I'm forgetting the date. I'll put it down here. Super duper excited to see that because, you know, I will be recapping it. I love Love is Blind. I love it. I love it. Love it. Guys, if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. And of course, if you liked this video enough to subscribe and continue to hear me talk and do all kinds of recaps for reality TV, for other TV shows, for movies, etc., please consider subscribing. It'd be a really good time. And I also want to say hello to all of my new friends here in my Watchaholic family. Thank you guys for joining me here. I'm so happy that you guys have decided to, like, I don't know, listen to me talk about things that I absolutely love. It's just so much fun to be able to talk with you guys in the comments about this show and about any show going forward. But with that being said, guys, if you're interested in seeing even more of my reality TV show recaps or any others, please, you can check out this playlist over here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!